heard the shots, were there feet away from when this all unfolded, when that car intentionally plowed into crowds of people on Bourbon Street. I did speak to one man earlier who was actually staying at the Royal Sonesta this morning. Here, take a listen to what he said from this morning.
Yeah, so it was about a little bit before 3:20 this morning. We heard loud banging sounds coming up. We're in our room just pretty much closing down for the evening at the end of all the events and everything. And when we looked out the window, we noticed there was a lot of bodies laying on the ground. Truck was speeding away. Immediately ran downstairs to see if there was some people that can help out. And unfortunately, some people did perish during that event. There were some people we put into the hotel for assistance. And it was just, the scene was just horrific. Cops are doing a really good job. EMTs trying to help whoever they can at the time. But then maybe about 35, 40 minutes afterwards, there was a bomb scare alert that was sent out. And the hotel was there, and at that point evacuated, and they started pushing everybody away from the hotel around the back end of the hotel on the opposite side of Bourbon Street.
So you said that bomb threat came in after the shooting had happened, right?
Maybe about 30 minutes afterwards.
Tell me what was going through your mind. 'Cause I know you said you are a medic, so you were able to help out people. What was going through your mind when you were seeing all this unfold?
Well, one, being a Marine Corps vet, it felt like, back in Iraq again. Just jumping right in, just seeing the people and everything laying down, not knowing exactly what to do. So at that moment, I just had to do what I needed to do, just go right back into my training and try to see people that I can actually help, and pretty much trying to triage. There was another gentleman that was there with me. He was a trained medic as well. So between the two of us, we tried to help anybody we could.
And when you're just thinking back about that bomb threat, I know situations like this, you mentioned feeling like you're back in Iraq. I know this can be very triggering for you. That when that bomb threat came in, have you heard any other information about that, or did they just say, "Hey, get out, there's a bomb threat"?
Yeah, so there was no other information provided, timelines or nothing like that. They just pretty much evacuated the area, pretty much everything from Bourbon Street, and pushing everybody. They said, "Go wherever you want to go, but here." So we went door to door, at least on our floor, the 5th floor, started pushing people out. And hotel security was as well helping direct everybody out. And we're just pushing everybody away from the hotels. We thought it was just our hotel specifically, but it turned out to be more than that.
And that is still the message here this morning. Go everywhere but here. Police and, of course, city leaders are asking folks to steer clear of an 8-block radius surrounding Bourbon Street. As we all know, the French Quarter is not very big, so I think it's probably best to just avoid this area altogether. You also heard that man who was staying in the Royal Sonesta mention that, his hotel and other hotels around the area was evacuated due to a bomb threat. We did hear from the FBI agent, a part of this case, who is now taking over this investigation. They did say that they working to confirm an improvised explosive device. So we are still waiting to hear more about that piece of this puzzle. Also want to mention 2 officers were injured. We heard from Office Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick mentioned that earlier in her press conference as well. When we first got here on scene, that was one of the first reports that we got. But initially, of course, everyone's kind of focusing on the aftermath of that scene where that car, we now know, according to Chief Ann Kirkpatrick, intentionally plowed into that crowd.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As you can see, last night, 10 dead and 30 injured, I think. So not a good way to start off the New Year's. Condolences to those that lost a family member down there. Now, they're thinking there might be some terrorist stuff in it, or connected to some terrorist stuff, or it's hard to tell. It's too early to find out. But that's what they're thinking. So let's listen to a little bit more of it.
on Bourbon Street. But among those now 36 some odd people injured, we now know that 2 officers are also injured as well. So still a lot to come out of this. As you all know, as you can see here behind me, dozens and dozens of people are still out here on scene on the law enforcement front, still making sure the scene is secure for us this morning and trying to get out more information and put this whole story together. So we'll continue to stay on top of this and, of course, bring you all the latest.
All right, Leah, thanks. And of course, one big question that we still don't know right now is this man who intentionally drove that truck into this crowd. Was he arrested? Was he shot? What is the status of that person? We do not know. NOPD did not take any questions after that news conference a little bit earlier. They didn't say anything about the suspect other than it being a man who intentionally did this and fired at officers.
Hopefully we'll get an answer to that at 11 o'clock when investigators say they'll provide their next update from NOPD headquarters, because there is a lot that people do need to know about what's going on here. We did tell you a couple minutes ago that we are hearing from Governor Jeff Landry, who did issue his prayers and thoughts to the victims here as investigators work to provide the very latest, and he is briefed on this matter too. We were talking earlier, Mike, just about the timing here and this happening during a time where the spotlight is on the city of New Orleans, with a lot of people there in the area. The governor's social media feed alluding to that, not alluding to it, speaking quite specifically to where we are right now on this day.
Yeah, especially the Sugar Bowl, of course, welcoming folks. Just take a listen to the message that he had put out previously.
And with that, the 2024 season comes to an end. Good night.
So we're looking at what the governor's office posted as a year in review, but he had posted a video on his Twitter feed. And what it was just welcoming the visitors here to the city. And we were just talking about, again, the messaging there, or the juxtaposition of messaging there.
Being just one man acting alone, driving at a high rate of speed, going around police barricades, purposely into a crowd of people, trying to kill as many people as possible. We do not know if that man has been arrested, if a man has been shot by officers who were returning fire after he shot them, or what may have transpired after he crashed his vehicle and then fired on those officers. We don't know at this point. We are waiting to try and get more information from NOPD. They did not provide us with that information. It did not take questions a little bit earlier.
2 officers shot there on scene, according to NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick, who also said that that's where she was heading right now to get an update on how they are doing. We do know that they are stable at the hospital as they're being treated. Those 2 officers shot by the driver of the truck who plowed into the group of people intentionally, according to investigators. As we take a look at the scene during the 3 o'clock hour, 4 o'clock hour this morning, minutes after that situation took place on Bourbon Street, people describing what they said was running for their lives, others being treated by EMS on the ground there, wrapped in blankets, some of them tourists staying in hotels that were also forced to evacuate amid, according to witnesses on scene, speaking to our reporters, calls of a bomb threat. Now, again, Special Agent Duncan from the FBI did address that somewhat, saying that they did find IEDs, improvised explosive devices, but didn't clarify or specify as to what those were, when they were found, where they were found. So working to get to the bottom of that one as well.
You know, of course, we can sit here and have so many questions for officers, but they have a lot of questions too. They're still trying to put this together as all of this unfolds, trying to get us the information. So we're not slamming, of course, the police department. They're trying to do their job. They're trying to answer all these questions as well, because they probably still don't know why this man purposely decided to do this.
Live picture right now at Bourbon Street as we take a look at this earth cam shot. You see investigators remain there on scene here overnight. You can see the police tape still up there as there is a barrier. Earlier, you may have seen, as we had this shot up, officers speaking to a gentleman there and guiding him out of the area. Again, a lot of questions. You see people walking by, walking up, folks presumably trying.
All right, this is a CBS News special report. You've been listening to WWL, our station in New Orleans. I'm Michael George in New York. We are continuing.
And as we heard from the NOLA police superintendent, this person was showing some, quote, very intentional behavior. They were, quote, trying to run over as many people as they could, that this was not just a DUI situation. And that aligns with what I heard from witnesses just moments after this happened, that this truck plowed through a crowd of people. Many people were hit. One woman even told me her husband's ankle was clipped by the truck. She said they ducked into a club to try to be safe and find some cover. Everyone was looking out of windows of bars, trying to see what was going on. No one really had any information other than people just saying there's bodies all over the ground. And as police started letting people out of the different bars in that area, those tourists, those locals alike, local employees, everyone got a view of how horrific this really was. I mean, we saw people on the ground getting help, both from first responders and from Good Samaritans. We saw people being put onto stretchers. It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. It's not a way that you want to bring in the new year, for sure. A terrible way to start out this first day of 2025. And of course, as you heard some of the folks with the local station WWL talking about, today is also a big game day here. You know, just a few blocks from where this took place is where that big game is going to happen. And we know from New Orleans police that they will be on top of it. They've assured
All right, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 10 people dead and 30 injured. And I wonder what nationality the guy was from, who's put him up to it or whatever. But yeah, I agree with that lady on the channel there. It's not a good way to ring in the new year. As you can see, we got a little bit of snow last night or yesterday. Nothing major. No, yeah. Condolences to the families that were lost out there, but yeah, I mean, this is like third world country stuff. This is the stuff we see on the news in Yemen and stuff like that, or other countries where they do stuff like that, but not anymore. It's just be safe. I guess there's a big game today out there. You're going to have to up security out there. Who knows? Were people helping them? That's what another question they're asking. Was there other people helping the guy? I don't know. I would say something has to be done. You know, you remember when these holiday things went off like a hitch, right? We never used to have this kind of trouble back in the day with the holiday parades and New Year's and Christmas and all that. We just didn't have this kind of madness back then. And you could pretty much see that everything that we put on the news in America is really info for these people that do bad acts like this to do. I know it sounds crazy, but you know, every year they know we have parades out in just about every town for Christmas or New Year's or holiday, Easter, whatever it is. So I don't know. Is there any holidays coming up? I don't think so. So there won't be parades or anything like that. So that might cut down on some of the stuff, but yeah, they're definitely going to have to up things and get started on it and everything. And and here's the thing: they shouldn't have to answer. Our government, we should have a branch just for this. or they don't have to answer and get the okay. They're 24/7 whenever there's some kind of a big gathering. They're watching it. How come they're not getting support from other branches or whatever? I don't know. But I gotta feed the squirrels. So I'm gonna end this. Keep an eye out today, folks. You know, every day we have to keep an eye out now. Not just holidays. You know, every single day Americans have to keep an eye out for radicalists, terrorists. Well, you know, it's funny, they changed the name to that. Before it was radicalists, left-wingers, right-wingers. These are the people we were watching, right? Politicians, the other white right-wingers, left-wingers. Of course, we all know Winger, the band, broke up many, many years ago. But that's what we were looking for. But they upgraded it to radicalists, to now they're terrorists. So the terms have even changed over the years, right? And that's exactly what they used back when I was growing up. If something happened or whatever, they were radicalists. People that were radicals, extremists. But as the years went by, now they've changed it to they're terrorists. So keep an eye out in your local neighborhoods, in your cities, in America, because who knows how many of these idiots are here. Who knows what you can do. There's nothing we really can do. You just got to wait for it to happen and then try and send rescuers the best you can, or people around there. Yeah, it's a horrible way to start off the New Year's. I mean, this is the only thing we're seeing right now is this thing in New Orleans, but were there any more incidents in America last night? We'll have to wait and see what kind of reports we get. Now I'm going to end this video. You folks have a great day. Happy New Year's. It kind of stinks that the New Year's has to start off this way in America, but it is what it is, so we'll make the best of it. Right? Back to movie making and skits and outdoor videos, but I got to put some peanuts out there and feed the little squirrels. It might be too cold for them to even be out today. You folks have a great day. God bless. I posted the video of the video that we watched in chat in the description. Go check it out for yourself. It's very, very bad. You folks have a great day. God bless. And thanks, Lord, for another day. Time to feed the squirrels.